Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your #1 source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
Band from Ringside. Tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast, The Rock cuts his first full heel promo in 20 years. FTR takes on Blackpool Combat Club on Dynamite. We have your Elimination Chamber predictions, and Will Ospreay puts another Match of the Year candidate on the board. That and a whole bunch more tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast. Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Marks. Welcome to the Band from Ringside podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bill Vagey, a.k.a. Lou Diamond Dallas Phillips. And sitting directly across from me, we have Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on, JCB?
I'm a beefer, baby, so why don't you kill me? And on that lovely note, I'll ask your congregation to bow their heads as I read from the latest edition of the Band from Ringside podcast, volume 348. Chapter 3, verse 14, and the good smart saith, hashtag boo the heels. It's all good, baby. Listen, share, subscribe, repeat the holy trinity of BFR. Interesting wrinkle wrestling once again. The Rock, everybody. I love how everybody is getting their own conspiracy theory about The Rock and what he said and what he did. Bloodline just runs everything at WWE. It revolves around them.
And out there in Portland, Oregon, we have Two Beers, Zach Coleman in the house. What's going on, Two Beers, Zach?
Beer for West in the house.
I am cocked, locked, and ready to eliminate my chambers this Saturday.
Jesus Christ, that's so good. We're coming at you from beautiful St. Charles, Missouri, with another edition of the Band from Ringside podcast. I'm sorry, Jason. What number did you say this was?
348.
That is unbelievable.
Right?
That's just unbelievable. I can't
Every
believe
time,
it.
man. Shit.
I never even pay attention to what number you say. You said tonight, I was like, what?
Right. It's like, are you sure? You count that right,
We should really quantify how much time we've spent on mic talking about wrestling, the three of us, because it's a lot. It's a fucking ton.
You got to remember, a lot of this is now post, when we did it 1 hour or whatever, with even 1 hour.
How many did we do in Shock City, do you know?
I would say like the first 100, 125 would easily be Shock City.
Man, that's, you know what they call that, guys? A life well lived. So, like I said, we're coming at you from beautiful St. Charles, Missouri. Just a regular old week. It's funny. There was no collision this week. I didn't know there wasn't any collision until Sunday when I tried to find it.
Right.
And I was like,
How'd
huh.
that happen?
It was like collision got so ingrained in my life so quickly that there was 2 hours that it just seems like this was what it was used to always be like, and it feels like it was a light week of wrestling. No. This is a less than normal. We used to talk about Raw and SmackDown.
That's it.
We used to talk about Natalia matches on this motherfucker. I mean, no offense, but I mean,
no, I was about to say
just like squash matches in the middle of shitty Raws is what we used to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm watching 45-minute matches, 45-minute Will Ospreay matches as I make my kid Thursday night dinner, getting ready for the podcast in a couple hours. But, just happy to be doing it. No Vice tonight. Hope he is well. We had to put a couple AKs on the back burner because that Lou Diamond Phillips one came to me in a dream the other night. So I wanted to go with it tonight. But hopefully we'll have Vice back next week. But
that's
you know
amazing.
what? Let's get to it. Without further ado, let's get to that. 3 counts.
1, 2, 3.
JCB, kick it off.
Finally, The Rock cuts his first heel promo as a part of the Bloodline. We're talking WWE as the 1 count. Roman Reigns, Rock close SmackDown. We'll jump to the rest of SmackDown, but obviously I think this is the biggest story leading into Raw, and obviously the Drew and Cody curtain jerker on Raw. We'll talk about that as well, but obviously I want to talk about The Rock first. Roman actually comes out first and lays the groundwork for The Rock to come out. He comes out in the most ridiculous vest I've ever seen in my life. That was definitely heel Rock of the mid-'90s, late '90s, whatever you want to call it. The music was still the same. I was hoping we would get that slow, like I said, the Is Cooking Rock where it has just the guitar. It's just more of a grindy, heelish intro music. Neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. Rock came out, did what he did, cut the heel promo that I was kind of expecting, and it just felt like if you just close your eyes and just listen, it was Rock that you remember as a heel, basically just throwing Salt Lake City underneath the bus, smacking herpes off of people's lips. The Rock was back and just didn't miss a beat. Ultimately, what this boils down to, Rock is officially now a part of the Bloodline, and he is saying that he is going to do everything in his power to make sure Cody comes out a loser in WrestleMania 40. I know there's people out there that are, making conspiracy theories, because I said that at the beginning of the show. He was pointing at Roman when he was saying that, you're going to lose and all this other nonsense. Let's not make this harder than what it is, kids, okay? Until we see something more definitive than Rock is kind of looking in Roman's direction and pointing at him, but saying something that is intended for Cody, let's not make this harder than what it is. I know Rock put up the Bullet Club gold, at the end. I don't care about that. That doesn't make any difference to me. He's a Bloodline member. I don't care about the little nuances that everybody's trying to come up with.
People treating this shit like it's lost.
Dude.
Don't forget how that ended.
Okay. Let's just calm down, everybody. Rock said it best, and I'll kick it to whoever wants it next. Let's enjoy the ride that he's taking us on. Let's not try to look for little things to be like, oh, I saw this first. Everybody's trying to be right and not enjoying what's happening. The Rock is back. The Rock has come back and now has done two things that we were worried about. The first thing was solidify WrestleMania 40. The second thing was inject a little life into the Bloodline. For a lot of people that said the Bloodline was getting a little stale, now we got your stale for you. The Rock is back.
Yeah. So, Zach, what you think about this promo?
It was fantastic. It was. I was thoroughly sports entertained. I mean, The Rock was always a much better heel than he was a face, and he's just so goddamn smarmy, and he's just leaning into it so hard, and he's got that star power that makes it even worse. And by worse, I mean better. He is not afraid to say anything. I mean, it was like he was really laying into that crowd, and I was all for it. I thought it was great. I mean, it is making everything seem like much bigger deal. I feel like for anybody that was worried about like this situation hurting Cody, I feel like it's just enhanced everything. And it's really taken a lot of heat off of WWE in general in a very time where it deserves a lot of heat, even though creatively it is firing on all cylinders. But man, real good WWE TV this week.
Man, I love this promo. I fucking loved it. It was like, it felt to me that he was, slipping into an old comfortable pair of shoes, because I think that he might have forgotten how much fun it is to go out there and not try to get cheered, and to go out there and to actually try to get booed and get that cheap ass heat off the local crowd and just really let him have it, because man, that shit was funny. I was laughing. It really did feel like we were back in the year 2000. It really felt like it. The vest that he was wearing was so fucking ostentatious and stupid looking and gaudy that I just couldn't have loved it more. Zach, I don't know if you listened last week, but Jason and I had a bit of a conversation about were Roman and The Rock going to come out together? Did they come out separate? I think that we landed on they had to come out separate. But, Roman kind of spoiled the news that The Rock was in the Bloodline, which was fine with me.
Didn't care.
This is, I I said on Friends of BFR, and you know, friend of the show David Patterson was on there, and he wasn't as fond of it. And I thought that the point he made, you know, I could see where he was coming from.
What did he say? I didn't see it.
Just that it seemed really cheap, heatish, and kind of lazy, I think is what he said. But to me, I think that
I don't ever disagree with that.
To me, I think that they're probably looking, and not to argue with him that he's not here, but the way that I kind of saw that was that, you know, people are probably just getting word that The Rock's back. Like they have a friend that watches wrestling, and their friend that watches wrestling is like, dude, The Rock's back. You got to check it out this week. You got to check out SmackDown this week. And so they probably knew that they were going to pop a rating, and to pop a rating and to get it solid in everybody's head that The Rock is indeed back, and he is indeed old heel Rock. Let's cut a promo to remind him how much fun this can be. And that was fucking fun. And he has to be careful because he's going to start getting cheered again.
Yeah, that's the key is with the modern fan that loves the heels, and you can see a little bit of that. People want to cheer Rock.
They were chanting his name. Shit.
They were chanting his name. Yeah.
At the end. Go ahead.
So, yeah, you really got to be extra level in order to maintain the heat. It is funny. They didn't just like pop a rating. I mean, it was all set up. It was very deliberate. It was very smart. You know, it's after football season. They didn't have any competition as far as like major sports or anything. It was the first time they've announced The Rock.
They didn't have minor sports either. I mean, the NBA was All-Star break.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, this was the perfect fucking storm.
Yeah, there was no NBA games.
It's the first time The Rock has been announced for a TV show since the very first SmackDown where they did 4 million viewers. And this was the first time in the history of television, that wrestling was the #1 show on network television.
Whoa.
First time in history.
That's a true stat.
That's a true stat.
That is crazy.
I mean, more people watched wrestling. You know, historically, it was like higher ratings, but it was never #1.
Sure, that was when, you know, Raw used to pull in crazy amounts but everything drew in crazy.
Well, no, I'm
amounts of
talking
viewers.
network. Yeah, network.
So like ABC,
like in
CBS,
the 50s and 60s and shit. Yes. Back whenever like our grandparents were like wrestling at the Chase and shit like that.
Saturday night main event.
Yeah, just like the regular TV shit.
So I know that we like to preach. I like to preach. You know, let's just go for the ride, sit back. It's not all about fantasy booking, but
guess what we're getting ready to do?
I'm not going to fantasy book myself, but I'd like to take the temperature of where we're at. I just want to know, like, I don't want to book out the whole thing. I just want to know, where do you think The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania?
If he's not ringside with Heyman, he'll get involved in some form of fashion.
Does he get a match?
No.
I think they're going to do the tag.
Man, I just can't see them doing that tag.
I think he is an auxiliary piece in this whole thing. I don't think he's.
Yeah, I'm thinking tag night 1, match night 2.
If they wanted to do a tag match, Perth was the perfect place to do it, and they're not doing it, and that's okay. I'm not mad about that.
That shit starts at 4 a.m.
Look, motherfucker, I'm gonna wake up and watch that bullshit. I ain't even gonna trip. I'll watch New Japan until Peacock gets there, replay shit together, then I'll watch it before I go to work. I don't think Roman's going to do 2 nights. I just don't. As much as I would love to see it, and it would make sense storyline-wise, I just don't see it. I just think they're going to make us wait until night 2 of WrestleMania and then just drag this whole thing out, at least in that scenario where it's the next time we see Roman Reigns in the ring.
I mean, this is such a cop-out. I really don't agree with either of you, and I just don't know what I think is going to happen.
Jesus. How are you going to answer the question and then be like, oh, no?
Well, I think that the perfect answer is him facing Seth Rollins. To me,
The Rock?
Yes. That would be what I would want the most.
I still want Drew and Seth now at this point.
Seth's going to be carrying The Rock.
Ultimately, I think that's why I don't think right now Rock is ready for a singles match. A tag match makes a lot more sense. Go ahead.
I got a little secret for you. Seth would be carrying Roman too. So I mean,
that
ain't no shit.
Whoa.
Seth's going to be carrying. He's going to be carrying either one of those guys. I want to see Seth versus The Rock.
Easy, big fella.
Let it rip.
I guess because they've had the confrontation in Vegas, you have a reason to connect the dots, so you make sense in that scenario. Drew Seth intrigues me way more.
We'll be getting those predictions later. Let's see. Anything else happened on SmackDown or Raw that you'd like to talk about, Jason?
Just, little Elimination Chamber results. KO defeats Dominic Mysterio. I think Dominic had a good match here, but obviously KO was the one to go over. The same way with Tiffany Stratton versus Zelina Vega. Elektra Lopez gets involved in that to kind of assist Tiffany Stratton there. AOP just squashes two guys. I'm not even going to give them the time of day for their names to be said. Logan Paul defeats The Miz. He's going to Perth. And then Naomi beats Alba Fire, and she's going to Perth as well. So the men's side is set. The women's has 5 of the 6 set. And then obviously on Monday night, Raquel Rodriguez wins the women's battle royal to get the 6th and final spot.
Thoughts on any of this, Zach?
Worst Logan Paul match so far, but it was not a bad match. But there's only had 10, and I can remember everyone, so I'm just taking my opportunity to bury The Miz.
Damn.
And
Logan Paul was great backstage, though.
Oh my God, yeah. Also, very impressive for KO to win in a handicap match against Dom and Nick. The Raw was pretty good. Just really good TV. Unless were you going to talk about Raw, Jason?
We could start talking about it because obviously the curtain jerker was extremely interesting. Drew versus Cody. Drew goes over with the assist from the Bloodline. Jimmy with the distraction and Solo with the spike. Second loss for Cody since he's come back. Well, I'm sorry, not since he's come back, but
first pinfall loss since WrestleMania.
Yeah, thank you. So in that scenario, it's a testament to how strong they've made Cody and giving Drew a little bit of a rub from getting that pin, as nefarious as it was.
It's a big win.
It's a big win for Drew McIntyre going forward. It just, to me, it solidifies his role as a top heel, if not the top heel on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I thought that was great. That is not the finish that anyone was expecting. Cody it's not that he doesn't do jobs or anything. Cody is just the top babyface in the company. It was like, he's the top babyface in the biggest wrestling company in the world. He's just not going to do a lot of jobs, and that was wild. So yeah, very cool. It told me a couple things. Drew McIntyre's probably sticking around. Like, he's probably not going anywhere. They're not going to have him pin Cody. Also, kind of what Jason was saying, like Drew Seth, it makes it interesting because him pinning Cody sets him up to be a challenger to Cody's title if Cody were to win it, which he definitely should. But it would be interesting if, I guess maybe, if it is Drew Seth, then, Seth might still win, even though I feel like the way to finish that story for Drew is for have him to win also. But it is interesting that they had him pin him. Yeah, pretty interesting overall.
Really great match. It had a big fight feel. I mean, it was a pay-per-view level match with a TV finish, which I'm totally cool with. And Drew McIntyre has really, it's been a rising tide floats all boats type situation probably, because Drew McIntyre has upped the fuck out of his game. And in any other world, he would be at the very tippy top of the card. And now he's just nipping around the edges of it because the tippy top of the card is so fucking massive right now. It's really something. And CM Punk's on the sidelines, and they're keeping that hot. So, I think CM Punk might be coming back sooner than we think. I don't think he's going to be back for WrestleMania or anything, but could be a Raw after WrestleMania situation. CM Punk comes back to attack McIntyre or something, because I think that he's going to be just on the edge of getting back when it comes to WrestleMania, right? Or am I getting that timeline wrong?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, it would just depend on
Maybe he's been faking the whole thing. Maybe the whole thing's will work.
If we're getting work like that, then I will tip my hat to WWE, because, I'm all in the fact that CM Punk is out of WrestleMania. I don't expect Punk to come back anytime soon, to be perfectly honest. Sometime in 2024. That would be great. If not, then, so be it. As long as Drew is signed, ultimately you have that match in your back pocket. You can bring it out whenever you need to do it. Just for Drew going forward, it's going to be hard to see him not on WrestleMania. I mean, I'm sorry. He has done... Drew McIntyre.
Oh, he's getting a singles match.
That's what I'm. But we were saying last week,
might not be for the title.
Like, this person might not. You're saying that Drew's on the tip of the top of the card or whatever. I thought he was already in, even with CM Punk and Brock Lesnar and everybody else. Seth, half stepping with one leg or whatever the case may be. We can name all these guys, but Drew McIntyre would be one of those guys I would name.
He kind of had a lame 2023 though, right?
I don't think that's by his doing by any stretch. I think that's the fact that...
No.
Okay, I was just going to say the booking for Drew wasn't exactly strong, where he was challenging for titles, and when he did challenge for titles, he lost.
But now he's pinning Cody Rhodes. I mean, that
says a lot. And I think that's what we need to watch going forward. I would be a little surprised if he did not have some sort of singles match. I wouldn't say a little surprised. Very surprised if he didn't have some sort of singles match at WrestleMania.
And then at the end of Raw, well, sorry to steal your count.
No, still. It's your show too, boss.
Real quick before you go, what's funny is one thing that they're kind of telling a story about, that Drew could have a singles match at WrestleMania. He could get pinned by Sami Zayn. Because they keep talking about how Sami's never beat him.
Yeah, but they're also talking about Sami going for a title. I think that we're getting Sami Gunther.
Oh, that could be too.
And I think I wouldn't be surprised if Sami takes the IC off of Gunther.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say
at WrestleMania that would be huge.
That would be a big
huge match and a big moment.
Yeah, that would be a big fucking deal. I like that. See where your head's at.
Give me the pencil.
Yeah, dude, I'd say take that motherfucker down.
But anyway, at the end of Raw, we have a fucking fantastic match. Gunther versus Jay. Sorry, you know what I meant. He just looks like he just looks like his name is Ray. Hey, Ray. Yeah.
You stole my thunder. I was just going to say that.
So I did not see the first match when I saw this. I turned this one on live. I turned it on at like 9:30. I was like, I'll watch the main event. If the beginning gets spoiled for me, so be it. But I turned it on. So I didn't know what happened in the Cody Drew match. So I got so sucked into this match.
Oh, man.
And so I was living and dying with the near falls, because I did not know that Jimmy had been on the show earlier. So when Jimmy came out, they got heat from me. I was fucking pissed. I wanted a clean win, and I was like, "Oh, you motherfucker!" I mean, it was good heat, but heat nonetheless. I was pissed.
I would be lying if I did not say that I was waiting for Jimmy, but in the spot where Jimmy came in, I was with you. I'm like, son of a bitch, got me, you motherfuckers, you got me again. But that's what I kind of expected. If Jimmy wouldn't have came out the first time around and he would have came out at the end, this would have been a much more, it was still impactful, but it would just been a bigger splash. You know what I'm saying? It'd have been one of those moments where you'd really been like, like Bill, he got worked. Because obviously he didn't see the front part. If they'd have just waited and not done both of them, I don't know who you would bring out for Cody the first time around. I mean, shit, figure it out. You know, this is the time to bring out Jimmy because this makes the most sense. Drew getting the assist from the Bloodline is ironic. You know what I'm saying? And then his comments after the fact was like, hey, I just took, advantage of the situation. Real fucking funny when you was talking that big ass tall shit 6 months ago, pissed off at the world, but now it's okay. This would have made much more of an impact, and I just wish they would have just left it one or the other, not both. Go ahead, Three Beer.
Yeah, it was funny. First of all, Jimmy rang that bell so hard and so many times.
Dude.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
I was like, is this New Japan? I mean, what the fuck? We
But,
hear you, dog.
I did really like the bookends of you had an unexpected win where the heel won and just, like you said, took the win from the interference. And it really showed the dichotomy of heel characters because Gunther was not happy with that win. He's like a baby face. He's like a heel, but like he was really kind of like he's like a I don't know. It's like an honorable heel, I guess. He was like pissed about the whole like thing. Like he took
Did
it.
you think
but
so?
Like, that's the vibe that I got.
I just the way I took it was like he was just happy to escape with the win. Give me my belt. Let me get the fuck up out of here.
Yeah, it could have been it too. Yeah. I might have just misread the situation. I was trying to remember like if he has really had a lot of heel interference shenanigans with his reign. I couldn't remember.
Not really.
I know he has his lackeys like Ludwig and them, but like I didn't know. I couldn't remember them causing wins for him. Like I feel like he's just been pretty dominant.
It's not like.
It's not like
Bloodline shit.
No, if it happens, it's happened so infrequently we can't think of it.
Or they've had a lot of 6-man matches with those guys, and it seems like
that's where the fuckery starts.
They are like clearly tiered 1, 2, 3 in that faction. Like Vinci is clearly the dumbass.
Yeah,
that they don't respect at all.
Right,
like Ludwig Kaiser, Gunther likes
he's
him,
the gray.
But he's like, come on, what the fuck, dude? He treats him like shit. But yeah, they have a lot of 6-men where Vinci takes the pin. Lots of them.
Yeah,
it feels like over his reign. But they don't get involved in matches like that.
Not nearly as much.
Any.
Yeah, and the Bloodline is like the bar of it all, unfortunately, for lack of a better word.
They respect the ring too much.
Exactly.
I just, like I said, I can't think of enough to where it's like, well, Gunther's reign is tainted because Imperial gets involved in it. People don't say that. People just talk about how he just beats guys up all the time.
Yep.
And that's just what it boils down to. His reign has been, if you just want to go with a dominant reign where you just line him up and he knocks him down, Gunther greater than Roman.
I mean, his approval rating has to be the highest across all types of fans, right? Like, everybody's got, even the smarkiest of the smarks have to admit that Gunther, the way that he's booked, the way that he performs, he's like one of the strongest heels we've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
he's presented just as a total no-nonsense badass.
Okay, and now we got like 3 questions. Who's going to beat fill in the blank? Roman, Seth, Gunther. Not even in that order.
What are the odds that both Roman and Gunther lose WrestleMania weekend?
I think pretty high.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say I expect Roman to lose, and depending on the opponent for Gunther, it's just time. I mean, Gunther is ready for the big stage.
But bet on Gunther until Gunther gives you a reason not to bet on him.
That promo on Monday night when he was trolling Jay, holy shit, I was laughing my ass off, dude. I was like, God damn, he's so good.
His Q rating is just out of this world. Everybody's like, oh, he seems like a cool guy. He wrestles cool.
No, Gunther's the man. I was about to say it's time for him to give it up.
I just feel like he's another victim of like The Rock and Cody and Roman just sucking up all the talk. And I'm guilty of it. I'm not I'm not absolving myself.
No,
I feel like Gunther's overlooked.
I totally disagree with that, and I'll be the first to beat Gunther's drum. I will continue to do so. He was on my list of WWE Wrestlers of the Year. I'm sorry. Maybe you think that way. I'm sorry. Remember when Three Beer was talking about, we was pissed about him being the name change. Now I'm just rolling down Gunther like it ain't shit. Man. Gunther.
We can all admit.
Testament to how dope he is.
Yeah, we can all admit that Walter's a better name, right?
I don't care, man. I say the dude's a badass.
Zach, what's a better name, Walter or Gunther?
Walter.
It
was my maternal grandfather's name, and it's also decidedly less Nazi than Gunther.
Definitely less Nazi.
True story.
Ludwig Goebbels. Anything else about
Gable beats Ivar.
Gable got to cut a little promo where he's like, "Listen, it's WrestleMania season." He's like, "I'm going to show what I'm like on my own." Let's get Chad Gable a WrestleMania match, huh?
How we doing that?
I don't know.
Okay, just making sure we were on the same page on that. Just on a sidebar, because I'm looking at the notes.
More belts, hardcore belts.
No, we're good.
European belts.
No, we're good. No, we're good.
No, we need more
what
North
about
American
a belt
belts
that you have to defend all the time, like every day, every minute of the day of every week.
That was called the 24/7 title. We're past that now.
It has a long and storied history.
We've grown up, okay? One thing I did want to talk about, and if we want to move on, we can. Michael Chandler from UFC was on WWE main proper television throwing out a challenge to one Conor McGregor. I know this is not something that we talk about a lot on Banned from Ringside MMA in general, but I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it. This clearly has repercussions on the MMA side. This is part of, obviously, the TKO influence into WWE.
They were doing it all night. They were showing celebrities from all sorts of different types of shit all night. They had a professional bull rider that they called out in the crowd. They had some other people that I've never heard of that are probably Zoomers or TikTok stars or some shit like that. But Daniel Chandler, that's his name?
Michael
Chandler, I don't know who this motherfucker is, but looked like he felt like cutting a promo, and he did a pretty good job. That was fun. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I was like, is this what it's going to be like now? Because I was noticing it all night. Like, I thought it was like, it seemed weird. Like, they were like, here's a celebrity. Zach, what'd you think?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more of the UFC crossover in particular, specifically around the time of like big shows. I think we'll see some wrestlers on UFC shows like before WrestleMania. I also think that we're very likely to see, not just at WrestleMania, but also just during normal shows, we're going to start seeing advertisements on the mat and like on the ring posts and shit. Because TKOs is all about that money, man. And Vince, even though it's all about his money, obviously he was very much against like all of the logos and shit on like the mats. But like if you watch UFC, like it's all over the mat.
It was weird when Brock came back wearing Jimmy John shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That always looked weird because he's the only one that does it.
And he's the only one that was allowed to because it was already in his like other contract. He was also the only one who was allowed to do some other stuff. Yep. I can imagine we're going to see a lot more of that. And for as far as like the back and forth, that's great for like mainstream appeal because UFC is more mainstream, even though it's got a shorter history. I feel like it's more mainstream than WWE even.
Go ahead.
Go
I don't know about that. I don't know if UFC's. When I think about UFC fans, most of them, I think UFC fans that don't watch wrestling, because the only UFC fans. Well, no, I won't say that. When I think about UFC fans that don't watch wrestling, I see that most of them look at wrestling like it's fucking stupid.
I think that goes for a lot of people, that not just UFC fans.
There are people who like UFC a lot more, who are like UFC fans that like will dabble in wrestling. Like good friend of the show, Kevin Hamilton. He's like that, you know, like he gets wrestling and he follows it. He listens to Cornette sometimes. He listens to us sometimes. But like he knows UFC.
Right.
Like he knows all that shit. He always knew about boxing though and shit too. So I just don't know how many. I think it can cross over people to UFC better than cross over people to wrestling.
Maybe.
That could be completely wrong.
But
it doesn't matter either way.
Right.
Like they're just going for crossovers. They own both.
Right.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, ultimately, it doesn't matter who gets on the boat as long as you're buying the ticket.
If I was on First Take, I could do both sides of the argument.
I kind of agree with Zach on this one. I think it opens up the door for both UFC to dabble into WWE and vice versa, at least fan-wise. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Conor McGregor have a WWE match somewhere down the line. A lot of these guys, if you watch UFC press conferences, they feel like WWE-type promos.
You know who would be great in a wrestling match from the UFC? Cain Velasquez. What's he doing? What's he up to these days?
You ain't shit.
I think he's locked up with some engagements.
The Cain Velasquez era of SmackDown on Fox.
We say 3 weeks. You better put them dates down. We need dates, months, and a year, because this ain't going to take long.
I mean, talk about some worked punches. We hardly knew ye.
No shit.
Anything else?
Braun signs with SmackDown. Didn't want to overlook that, so that's an interesting little tidbit somewhere down the line. Damage Control with a good promo, setting up more of seeds of dissent, at least in my head, where Dakota Kai, I think, ultimately turns on Bayley. I think I covered it. Yeah, Seth and Cody. Seth looks at Cody, kind of shaking his head. No word said after Cody catches the SmackDown on Monday night. So, you know, a lot of seeds for WrestleMania being sold, but obviously Elimination Chamber coming up on Saturday morning.
And we got predictions coming up, too. So let's get to that. 2 counts.
1, 2, 3.
2 beer, what's the 2 count?
2 count, we'd probably go pretty quick through this. I did not watch Rampage. I know that...
Dude, it was bad.
Stop.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. It
was
not
that
that
Jeff
bad.
Hardy versus Sammy Guevara match.
Yeah, that was the opening match where Sammy Guevara basically killed Jeff Hardy.
Stop.
What do you mean stop? Did you see it?
Yes, I watched it. I'm not saying look, let's just call it for what this is. When you put these 2 guys in a ring with lax or no rules, whatever you want to call it.
They're going to do some dumb shit.
Okay, and there was a couple of times I was like, come on, Sammy, don't do this.
Those are 2 guys with histories of bad decisions.
Don't do this. You know, I don't want to say that this was bound to happen, but it's for me, it wasn't a surprise by any stretch of the imagination that one or the other got hurt.
My favorite band.
Well, I mean,
my favorite band, Clutch, has an album called "Book of Bad Decisions," and if you open that motherfucker up, it's just Sammy Guevara and Jeff Hardy through the whole thing.
It's like 80% Jeff Hardy though, because he'll do that.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
He's had a longer history.
That's
Sammy
fair.
Guevara's
That's
just like,
fair.
you know, fuck it, I'm just crazy.
Zach, you didn't see it, but I trust you saw the spot.
No, I didn't even watch the spot because I don't really get on social media. So
It's bad. It's bad. It's a knee straight to the face. I think that he broke Jeff Hardy's
His nose, I think.
There was some shit that I saw that took place during the commercial break where Matt was yelling at Sammy Guevara. I couldn't tell if it was a work or a shoot, so I'm not reporting anything here. But
your sources didn't tell you anything?
it was interesting. I mean, Jeff Hardy's out there like, don't do the spot if you're going to fuck it up that bad. He just completely went to one side.
Yeah.
Not good, but yeah.
I mean, just keep Sammy Guevara away from the Hardys.
Yes, I mean there's that too. He almost killed Matt Hardy too. Right?
Yeah, true story. Yeah, I was about to say that. Well, he almost killed Matt, but then TK was like, "Fuck it, let him keep going." So I mean, there's blame
if I remember
across the
correctly,
board.
that was pretty much Matt's fault, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, he fell. I don't think he didn't do a move to him, did he? I can't even remember.
I can't either. We probably made a really big deal out of it.
It was a big deal because, I mean, Matt was clearly hurt and he was out on his feet and they let the match go.
That's what it was. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I imagine that growing up, Sammy Guevara's favorite wrestler was Jeff Hardy.
Yep.
So the fact that they got to do it, that's cool. But it happened on Rampage, and I'll probably never watch it.
Man, you better hit that button, motherfucker.
It's not going to be
unprofessional bullshit.
It's not going to be on Sammy's highlight reel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Queen Aminata finally got a win. She beat Anna Jay. I don't know if that's a big win, but it's a win.
It's a win.
It is a win. I feel like I would have made it a little bigger.
It's her first dub, man. I mean,
they treated it like the announcers treated it like it was a big deal.
It was her first win.
Yeah, they did.
So, I mean, in that scenario, yeah, you're going to treat it like a big deal because, I mean, at least for let's just say conservatively for the last 3 weeks, she's been on, if not one of the 3 shows, but 2 of the 3 shows. And she's been taking the L's, which, not a surprise, neither here nor there. So when she finally beats, it's Anna Jay, not, world beaten, but, she got her first dub. They treated it as such. Now, what's the follow-up?
Yeah, we'll have to see. And then this is just a very funny match to me. I have no idea what it even looked like, but I'm just looking at it and said, Bang Bang Scissor Gang versus the Juggalo Nation here.
Oh,
Dark Order, Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Jay Lee.
Holy shit.
Man, this
shit show.
It's a shit show. That
what are they doing? Why are the Bang Bang Scissor Gang even still together? They need to break up and get some heat.
They even got something scheduled for next week where it's going to be one of the ass boys, Billy and Jay White.
Colton, Billy, and Jay White.
And, I mean, Jay White is fucking slumming. And the way that they end every promo with Anthony Bowens just all of a sudden yelling because everybody loves the Acclaimed Bang Bang. Really bad shit. It's like, dude, you don't have to scream it like that every time.
What?
Oh God, I hate it. I hate it so much.
I was fine with them popping the crowd whenever they did it the one time because I thought they were just gonna have like the Bang Bang Gang turn on them in like 2 weeks.
No,
I'll go this far. Seeing Jay White and Billy Gunn bump each other in the match at least was some sort of seed of dissension. They kind of referenced it backstage during the promo before the match. I guess that was on Dynamite or whatever. Hey, Billy's like, hey, my bad. Jay's like, all good, blah, blah, blah. Let's have this 6-man tag. I guess 3 questions now. What the fuck happened to the Acclaimed? What the fuck is going on with Jay White? And why the fuck did we even do this to begin with? None of this just doesn't make sense at all. You got the Acclaimed as one of the hottest tag teams a year ago. They were the hottest act in AEW at one point, and now they're doing this. Jay White, I just talked about him last week, but damn, you act like Tony Fitman has made Jay White into basically a complimentary part, and he shouldn't be that. He should be chasing Eddie Kingston, Samoa Joe, whomever, but not this. This is just, I'll say it, for me, it's beneath both of these 2 guys. For the Acclaimed as a group, for Jay White as the individual. I just don't get it.
I mean, it's putting I don't really care about the Ring of Honor trios titles, but it's putting the trios titles like completely on ice too. Like there's shit happening with them.
Nope.
And that. Remember whenever they introduced the trios titles, and we're like, oh my god, look at all these trios, and it's going to be like the best.
Options
and it was the
that
best
you had at the time. We could appoint that because AEW feels like
plenty of great trios.
Yeah,
so
you can still do it.
Yeah.
AEW is the land of factions. If it's not New Japan, to me, the land of factions 1, AEW is the land of factions 2. And you had all these, great factions with tag teams and a third guy that you can match up at any given point and have great trios matches. And they could be a part of your AEW programming, AEW pay-per-views, and do it like that. Now these are literally props. There are 6 props on 6 guys that mean absolutely nothing at this point, and it's hard to watch.
Yeah, they need to. I thought they were just going to have Bang Bang Gang turn on them and then unify the titles. That's fine with me. They just need to hurry up with it. Maybe they're selling too much merch. Maybe that really it could be as simple as that.
It could be.
Yeah, the storyline isn't great, but we're making money.
No, and it could be just as simple as that. I don't think it's that simple personally. I don't think they're that over, but I don't like them. So I mean, that to me is probably the biggest problem. It's my own personal bias against the whole thing. Ultimately, I think Bullet Club Gold does turn on them. I'm thinking in my head, and I said it last night watching, maybe they're waiting for Juice to come back, and then that's how they turn on him. So then they have the numbers advantage like heels usually do. If that doesn't happen, then I don't know what the fuck is going on, because this is it's entertaining, I'm sure, to some people. For me, it's not, and that's the problem.
You said Juice Robinson. I forgot all about Broken Seth Rollins. All right, so Dynamite. I had this on. I've just been stupid busy with work. I had this on in the background, so I got to catch most of it. But opening match, Blackpool Combat Club versus FTR. Turns out they took this one to a draw, which is totally cool because it seems like they're going to do it again at the pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. From what I saw, it was very, very good, but you could tell, whenever they ended the draw, I'm like, okay, they kind of held some stuff back because they're going to do a pay-per-view match. But I mean, this is a hell of a TV tag team match. The finish was a little wonky, but yeah, totally solid.
No, I thought once they announced the 5-minute call, I was like, son of a bitch, they're doing it again. I'm not mad about it. I mean, it sets up the probable Revolution tag team match. I just thought that FTR was just going to get the dub. That way you had, Mox would get the singles win, FTR gets the tag team win, and then you just have them, wrestle a tiebreaker of sorts going forward. The match I thought was solid. I mean, it was, they just rang the bell and just let them beat the shit out of each other for 20 minutes. Cardio is just a fucking freak of nature, just throwing anybody around. It doesn't even matter who it is. I don't think he's gotten enough of his shine in AEW/ROH. That's just me. FTR, once again, just proves that how good they are at any given point. You can ring the bell and put 2 guys in front of them, and they'll make a good match great. I'm curious to see where this goes for Revolution, if there's going to be a step on it or not, because it feels like it's getting to that point where both teams just don't like each other. So now you might want to put a step on it and make it even more interesting. I shouldn't say that. Tornado tag matches, Darby and Sting versus the Bucks. So you probably don't get 2 steps, but if you did, this might be a match to do it on, but we'll see.
Loser has to shave the winner's back.
See, no, we tried that already, man. It didn't work over in WWE, okay? We got them away from that. Let's not, PTSD them or PT. Yeah, I said that right. Let's not have them with more trauma because of a bad fucking angle with Vince trying to be cute.
This was a match I didn't get to see most of the action. Orange Cassidy versus Mike Bennett. Both those guys can go. I imagine this was pretty good, but also predictable finish. I didn't even see the finish, but I just can assume that Orange Cassidy beat Mike Bennett.
You assume correctly. I think it was a roll-up finish. Don't quote me on that. But ultimately, the post-match was the the kicker for me. Jake Hager coming out to make the save, I guess, was the hometown pop. I forgot they were in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so when Jake Hager's music hit, I was like, who the fuck is this? And then I saw Jake Hager's name on the screen or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? This doesn't even make fucking sense. So, of course, Jake Hager comes out and makes the save, picks OC up, and I'm still sitting there watching this. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm in my head like, it's that gif where you see the guy or the girl, just kind of like staring off into space, and you see all the numerals, and it's like, all kinds of quadratic fractions and formulas and shit. None of it made sense. It was the most ridiculous thing ever.
It's like AEW Mad Lib.
Fill in the blank, save Orange Cassidy. Jake Hager. What?
Hey, sorry,
that's really funny.
I was responding to a text, but did anybody notice Claudio at the pull apart backstage? Did we already talk about that? At the pull apart backstage between FTR and BCC, wasn't Dax saying, "We'll do it 2 times, we'll do it 5 times, we'll do it for a half hour"? It's like, are they leading towards like an Iron Man match between those two? Am I the only person that knows that?
I did not notice that.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't notice, but that could be.
I would, as much as I would say that it would be great to see an Iron Man match or best of 3, whatever. I mean, what does Dax Harwood gain out of that?
What does FTR gain?
I can see it as a collision main event.
If we're doing it as like a singles Claudio versus Dax.
I was thinking
you're talking the tag team.
I was thinking Claudio and Mox versus FTR.
Oh, okay.
Which is what they're doing at Revolution anyway. So I'm just saying, is that going to be some kind of Iron Man match or something? Wouldn't surprise me.
I don't want it to be there for 5 hours, man. Let's just.
Oh, you're going to be there for 5 hours.
I don't want to be
the last few haven't been that bad. Right?
No, they've actually kind of trimmed it down a little bit. I don't think it's going to be a stip because, like I said, Darby Sting versus the Bucks already has the tornado tag stip on it, which makes sense. I don't think you're going to do 2 of them, but I've been wrong before.
We had Tony Storm squash match. And then we had, I don't know, maybe the worst match I've ever seen on AEW Dynamite. I missed some stuff on some good matches, and then I was able to catch this fucking piece of shit. Madison Rain landed on her fucking head, like, towards the end of the match. This was, like, it didn't start out too bad, but holy shit, this was not good.
Yeah, there was some clunkiness here. I love me some Deonna Purrazzo, but this was not one of her better moments. Madison Rain either. I think I'm not blaming either one. It just didn't work. It was not very good.
I was doing other things.
Yeah, and then I caught that, and like I said, it was like, I kept getting calls, and then I got another call with this match: Joe Swerve and Cage versus Hook, Hangman, and Rob Van Dam. So interesting that Hangman is in the kind of babyface side of this. I don't know, and like Brian Cage is definitely a heel, but then like Swerve and Joe are very likable heels. Hook and RVD are definitely baby faces. Hangman is a heel, essentially, because at least, especially in this feud, like you guys were talking last week, that has definitely like been a double turn, almost like triple turn, because like people like Joe so much, but he's still a heel, but he's like beloved, so pretty wild. Anyway, I didn't get to see much of this match, but there was this kind of controversy about Hangman maybe having an ankle injury. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say first, and then I'll get to the injury part, is that I don't know if you saw the promo that they cut backstage beforehand, but Hangman was healing off on those two guys.
God.
He was completely acting like a heel on the backstage thing. It's like, so they knew that was what they were doing. That was intentional. For what reason, I have no fucking idea. This seems like some real WWE-ass booking where it's like, just throw 3 guys together on either side and have them have a match for no reason at all.
Can they coexist? That's
that's a WWE-ass reason.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
that's a WWE-ass match. Keep wanting to say WWE-ass.
Okay.
I do know that there was. I heard that there was a ton of rewrites on the show because I guess like Sting's dad died. Like Sting was supposed to be on the show. I think they were just kind of rewriting the show as it went. So that might be something. Overall, though, I mean, I wasn't fully tuned into it. This was a very disjointed episode of Dynamite. It was not the best episode of Dynamite for sure.
I tell you what, Sting's promo about
you like him that much
Steve.
now?
His name is Steve. Sting's promo about his dad shook me to my fucking core, man. Ugh. That was fucking some serious ass shit.
Ugh. Oh my god, damn, that's a gut punch.
It was a great promo. It made me like in a kayfabe style, like I was scared for the Bucks. I was like, Sting is going to kill these motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. Sting is not losing that match.
I don't know.
Nope.
I'm just throwing this out there. Because Zach said he was not watching In and Out, and there's a couple of things I want to talk about before we move on. This is one of them.
It was funny how Darby started off the promo talking about how when you look back on your career, but that's how he says, like, when you look back in your career, and it sounded like he was talking about himself. And I was like, dude, look back in your career. You're 29. Get the fuck out of here.
I say you've been the TNT champ. Calm down. Ric Flair obviously made an appearance and basically has voiced his displeasure about not being a part of the last few weeks of Sting's run as a wrestler, professional wrestler, and met up with the Bucks. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. I get what you're saying, what you're talking about with the Sting promo. It was, like I said, absolutely perfect. It was emotional, but then at the end, he was like, "You're going to have the fight of your lives," and I felt that shit. But Ric Flair is a tipping point. I'm not saying it tips the point to the Bucks where they win, but I'm not just saying it's a slam dunk for Starby or for Sting and Darby either.
Starby would be what Keith Lee would have named him.
Darby.
So Flair does show up and talking backstage with Renee. It's like he's not acting here. Like, this motherfucker is tired and disappointed in his life, and he knocks on the Bucks door. What do you guys think about this?
I missed that, but I love that wrinkle. I didn't even know that happened. I love that wrinkle because, I mean, as somebody who grew up watching Sting and Flair, mm-hmm. and just Sting in general, Sting had the worst taste in Friends. They constantly turned on him. So this would be totally in character. Yeah.
What's funny about what Flair said, well, so Angelo and Ruby Soho are going on their first date, and a car pulls up, and Ruby's like, "Is this for us?" And Angelo's like, "No, I got us a lift." And then it just shows the feet getting out of the... And I swear to God, I was like, those are the oldest. Who the fuck is the old person? Like, just the way their legs were getting out of the car, I was like, this is some old motherfucker.
Hey, man.
And it was fucking Flair.
Hey, man. I ain't going to take too much more of this Flair.
I thought it was Mae Young.
Hey, man, you got one more time to disparage Ric Flair, and I'm going to have to come over there. So make it good.
Come on. But, yeah, it isn't. So he comes out and he goes, I've known Sting my whole life, and I thought I'd be more involved in this, and I'm pretty disappointed. Renee's like, okay, thanks for your time. He's like, well, I'm just going to explore my options. And then he walks down the hall and knocks on the door, and Nick Jackson answers the door.
Look at you.
That was a guess. I don't remember.
It was actually Matt.
Okay, thank you. But, yeah, it is a fun little wrinkle. It's going to be it's a Bucks match, and it's Sting's last match. That's going to be a fucking... And
with Ric Flair as a...
That's going to be a Zach special. That's going to be
it's
a party
gonna be
match.
Oh, yeah.
Does Ric Flair take a bump?
Yes.
Not on purpose.
Good shit.
You were in the way, motherfucker. Damn.
Did you guys have? Go ahead, Zach. Zach? I know that you were in and out of it. Did you see Daniel Garcia and the Patriarchy?
No, I missed stuff.
Okay, so Dark Garcia comes out, cuts his very babyface promo. He's good at those. He is a believable underdog babyface kid who really just is trying his hardest, And so then Edge is out, so Garcia's got the number one contender match. Christian comes out, and he basically starts asking Daniel Garcia about his childhood. And said, you didn't have a very good childhood, did you?
I was like, oh, shit,
here
we go.
Do you know Jackie Garcia that lives at 2 Baker Court in Buffalo, New York? And the crowd just whoos into Daniel Garcia. And then he's like, and says that she was married to a David Garcia. But your dad, and if your dad, and correct me if I'm wrong, Daniel, but your father is dead.
Oh, my God, God damn.
It was fucking unbelievable. I popped so hard, dude.
Dude, as soon as he said that shit, as soon as he started to be like, your mom lives in whatever it is, I'm just like, oh, shit, here we go.
So Garcia starts seething, and he's like, leave my mother out of this. And he's like, and your dad was a piece of shit alcoholic.
I was like, oh, there it is.
Just doing work. Just Christian out here doing fucking work. Just so good. I was like, he's not going to talk about his dad being dead too, is he? And when he dropped it, man, that was
that's
good.
one of the greatest gimmicks in wrestling history.
And calling yourself the Patriarchy, it is unbelievable shit.
That Chris Jericho's list, I mean, just so especially when you see the shit coming, it doesn't matter what your name is. The certain things that are so funny that even when you see it coming, it still made you pop. That shit I saw coming, and I was like, man, don't do this shit. Well, never mind. He's already started, so you know where this motherfucker's going. Crowd's all into it. I'm laughing my ass off at 12:30 this morning. It was absolute comedy fucking central. So, of course, no, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was saying it's better than anything Edge has ever done.
Wow. There you go.
Except maybe Beth Phoenix.
See, you ain't shit.
Anyway.
I'm not even gonna go there. I won't leave that. I won't let you guys have your
I'm
Christian
really
fun on
joking.
that one.
I missed the majority of Edge's career. Like, whenever, like, I really missed the majority of Edge's career. So, like, I'm fully joking. I'm just being a heel. But yeah.
I would be lying if I said that Christian is not having the most amazing run that I could think of. Maybe when he first got to TNA or whatever, and they had him just run through the table and basically be undefeated for damn near a year and a half or whatever it was. I'll give you that. But this is just entertaining as fuck. Every fucking time I see him, it's just like, oh shit, here we go. And now we've gotten to the point where now he's got lackeys next to him. He's taken Edge out last week. He's got Daniel Garcia coming up in a couple weeks. Daniel Garcia is going to be someone that benefits from the rub from FTR now, or I guess a couple weeks ago, and now coming up against Christian. I think he gets a rub with that. I don't expect him to win, but I think they'll have a really good match for the TBS Championship. So at that point, Daniel Garcia does have a ascending rise for him, but like I said, I don't see him winning. Christian's just doing too much work as a heel to just let Daniel Garcia come in and take over the apple cart. Ultimately, you got to see Adam Copeland and Christian come back again at some point because, I mean, Christian just took Copeland out. So, there's got to be some sort of receipt for that.
Yeah. I feel like that's the end game is they're going to have an epic feud and then they're going to have an epic reunion and they'll, do the final tour of tag team, whenever as they get older and can't do the singles matches anymore. Right. In the meantime, I'm loving the patriarchy. But yeah, that's AEW. We're headed to Revolution.
Hang on.
Pay-per-view.
I want to talk about one more spot. Can we talk about Wardlow?
Oh, no, yeah. I missed a lot.
Okay, so Wardlow comes out, and he's coming out by himself, and I'm like, oh, shit, this could easily be bad. This motherfucker comes out and cuts the best promo he's ever cut in AEW. I mean, it was absolutely fucking amazing. He basically just and was nothing but truth telling. You know what I'm saying? He basically came out and was like, I'm the uncrowned AEW champion. I beat these guys that are now currently in the mix, whether you like it or not. He basically was like, I had the rocket up my ass, and now all of a sudden it's gone ass backwards. It was just.
He said the rocket that was apparently strapped to my back was pointed in the wrong direction. And he also said, that guy, the best in the world, the real champion, I beat him so bad that his body's still breaking down on him. And I was like, God damn, that's really fucking good.
That's good shit.
That's really fucking good shit. So, it was a good fiery promo. I'm kind of sick of these guys in AEW coming out and cutting promos, like, against their booking. You know what I mean? But, it was cool. I liked it. I was a fan of it.
I loved it. I was about to say, I thought it made every point that we talked about, at least on this podcast, on more than one occasion, and the fact that it was Wardlow coming out and saying it himself without Adam Cole, baby, or anybody else. I thought this was an amazing step for Wardlow. Where this goes, I don't know. I'm not holding my breath on it, but I was going to say I'll definitely put an asterisk on this date, this promo, because somewhere down the line, this might come up as a beefer for promo of the year. I thought it was that damn good.
Really?
For Wardlow? For what he's going through, and for him to come out and say that shit.
There was another beefer of the year candidate on this week of AEW television is the Bang Bang Scissor Gang worst angle of the year.
No problem with that. Zero problem with that.
It is a Z front runner. But that's gonna do it for our 2 count. 1, 2, 3. Did you guys watch NXT?
Yep.
No.
Okay. So you know what? We'll split this up. A little bit of NXT, which Zach didn't watch. A little bit of Oku Ospreay, which Jason didn't watch.
Unprofessional bullshit.
Dude, I was about to say, how you gonna give me the fucking button, man? He didn't watch NXT.
No, that was for both of you.
Okay, cool.
Absolute fucking bullshit.
But we'll start off with NXT. Not a ton of stuff to talk about here. What do you think about Ava being the GM? I can keep it general and talk about some specifics because I'm sure Zach has seen some of this. But what do you think about Ava as the GM, Jason?
I
got one word for you: nepotism.
Okay.
Yeah, that is some Nepo baby shit. Just want to know, again, apparently the Dijak and Gacy feud's still going on. You into this, Jason?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Dijak needs this dub so badly. It just feels like Joe Gacy's, they're rebranding him for this invincible run or whatever. What? Okay. I don't care.
So let me ask you about this. Chase U defeats Nathan Frazier and Axiom to become #1 contenders against the Road Dogs. And the OC, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, come in and lay waste to them. What do you think about the OC coming into NXT, Jason?
About time they earn their checks.
Zach.
Yeah. I'm sure they're just pissed that they have to actually work.
Every time I look up, I see him in the back getting punked out by AJ Styles, and now all of a sudden now you're mad. Oh, now you're gonna go down to NXT and beat up the NXT guys, right? Oh, ooh, you motherfuckers are real badasses now. Who'd you beat up? Axiom and Nathan Frazier? Get the fuck up out of here with this bullshit. I'm about to say, man, that's that bullshit right there. You need to just go ahead and just either give them their outright release or do something on the main roster with them. Don't get me wrong. There have guys that Baron Corbin has come down here and done great work. Okay. I'm not going to sit up here and say that this is a downgrade.
If Carl Anderson isn't going to give 100% at Wrestle Kingdom, you think Carl Anderson is going to give 100% at NXT on a Tuesday night?
Hey, you said it. I'm taking it.
The only thing Carl Anderson is giving 100% at is happy hour. I bet they take those titles off of Wolf Dogs, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. I hate that idea.
That's the first thing I thought.
I think that's the first thing
they're
down there.
I agree with you. I could totally agree with this. The first thing I thought when they came out was like, son of a bitch, that's who's going to beat them.
Oh, that sucks. Okay.
Man from Ringside.
At RevPro, I don't know when this match happened.
I think it was last weekend.
So
maybe last weekend.
Just an absolute, objectively well-worked, work rate style match at RevPro on Saturday night between Will Ospreay and Michael Oku. Michael Oku is a name that I've heard a bunch of times. I've probably seen highlights of him or something, but I can't recall ever sitting down and watching a Michael Oku match. He was tremendous.
The first one I ever saw was the one at High Stakes 2022 against Will Ospreay, which, from a storytelling perspective, was phenomenal. So in this match, there's a ton of callbacks to that match. But yeah, Will Ospreay was just healing it up. The setting for this is it's RevPro, Ospreay, historically a top guy. He was the top guy after Sabre was the top guy. And then Michael Oku is now the champion. He's the top guy, but Oku has never beaten Ospreay. And they had a fucking 5-star match 2 years ago where Ospreay was healing it up not only on Oku, but on Oku's partner. I forget her name. What was her name? Start with an A or something?
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught it in commentary.
I can't remember what it was. Those commentary guys were on fire. They were just yelling the entire time.
Yeah.
But
the idea was that she had thrown in the towel in the previous match. So in the previous match, she threw in the towel. The ref was like, "What is this? We don't do towels here." So she threw in the towel. Ospreay took it, wiped Oku's blood on it, and then threw it back in her face. This was after he had punt kicked her while he was standing on the apron, and he kicked her, punt kicked her in the face. That match was so well done, just old school fucking heel shit. But anyway, and there's a ton of callbacks in that. So they had the bloody towel. So first thing, they come out and they do the introductions. Ospreay comes in as second. The champion comes out first. Ospreay comes out second. And whenever they announce it's pinfall, submission, or you can throw in the towel, Ospreay wears that big robe and he pulls the bloody towel from 2 years ago out. He throws it in the chick's face just to start. That's the start of this match. And man, it just goes on. I think it was 45 minutes long. It did not feel like it. I was so enthralled with this thing. It wasn't just a moves match. It was so well done. So many callbacks to the other match. And just, sorry, I'm just gushing. You go ahead. I didn't mean to steal from you.
It was not just a move match. I mean, it was very dramatic. It was one of the most dramatic matches I've ever seen between two guys I've never seen wrestle before. Very theater-like, really, in a lot of spots. Oku had Ospreay pinned twice and pulled him back up as a callback to the first match too, and pulled him back up both times with a big smile on his face, which is like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And then Ospreay comes back. Ospreay, remember a couple of years ago when Ospreay hit the Stormbreaker on his girlfriend or something, and everybody got all pissed? I mean, Michael Oku's valet took a fucking hidden blade.
Yeah, to the face.
I'm good. Yeah, she takes a hidden blade to the face. That's after he kicks her when she's on the outside the ring, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And he puts his foot in her chest and just shoves her away.
Oh damn!
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, it's this kind of party." Okay,
I'm getting mad over here just listening to this shit.
I mean, it was incredible heel stuff. It is. I kind of want to go back and watch it again because it just keeps going and going and going, and it feels like it. It hits 100 miles an hour about 25 minutes into it and stays there for about 20 minutes is what it feels like. It was.
Oh yeah, you're right, because like about 25 minutes in, you're just like, these motherfuckers are just getting started, and then like they just go, and like dude, there's like Tiger Driver 98.
Oh yeah,
like just the most epic shit. You should watch their first match, and then watch, if you want to watch it again, just like watch their first match too. I think it's around. I haven't watched it in a while, but it was fucking great.
Yeah, the match fucking ruled. So go out of your way to watch it if you can.
Shit, I'm watching that motherfucker tonight as I'm uploading this motherfucker. It's gonna take me 45 minutes anyway, so as long as we doing it, we might as well get some enjoyment out of this shit.
All right, that's gonna do it for our 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
Time for predictions. So we got your Elimination Chamber in Perth. Or as like Michael Cole likes to constantly remind us, Perth, Australia.
Where the fuck? Where is Perth in Australia?
It is the biggest, most isolated city in the world. So it is on the west coast of Australia. It's the only big city over there.
Okay.
Had a buddy in college who was from Perth. My Australian friend Dave Lynn. Good dude. Used to watch wrestling with him.
Did I meet him?
Probably not. Anyway, he's from Perth, so pretty cool. It's gonna be a hot crowd.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that an Australian winter joke?
God damn, it feels like I set him up for that.
You just literally put that ball in the tee. Was like, no, please, let me get out the way first. Oh shit.
But there's some big matches, and there's the Grayson Waller. So the Grayson Waller effect, which is going to have Cody and Seth. So expect an angle there. Right now, as current, I just have to repeat the standings right now. Jason Cornelius Bell in last place with 11 points.
This motherfucker is taking way too much joy out of this.
Saxon's 2 beers in second place with 12 points. And yours truly, Bill, a.k.a. Vaggie, in first place with 14 points. That feels nice to say, guys. It feels really nice to say.
This is what, February? Ain't gonna last. Let's talk in like April, May. Let's see where this ends.
I mean, we got like 7 match of the year contenders, but right now we've only had like 3 pay-per-views. So let's start with the ladies first. We got Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. Jason Cornelius Bell, who you got? Can I borrow your pen, your writing utensil?
Yes, of course. I think this just has got to be Rhea Ripley, right? I mean, you're not going to have a major WWE show in Australia. No disrespect to Nia Jax. She's played her part well in being the bully of the block, but I would be very, very stunned if Rhea Ripley was brought to Australia and dropping the title just before WrestleMania. I'm going to take Rhea Ripley to retain.
Zach, who you got?
If this was still Vince creative, I might pick Nia Jax, but thankfully it's not. So I got Rhea Ripley. That would be an insane move to have Nia Jax win. As I say that, and Bill picks Nia Jax.
No, it is the stone coldest lead pipe that you can have. Rhea Ripley.
Good call. Stone cold lead pipe. Luckily.
I would agree with that as well.
Rhea Ripley is not losing this match. It's just not the way WWE does things now. She is way too dominant as a champion. They're going to be in Australia. They are trying to branch out, obviously. They are really making a good faith effort, and it seems like they're doing it well also. But this is going to be a huge moment for Rhea Ripley, and I am looking forward to this match. Nia Jax is doing good work. The angle on Raw where they had the standard Elimination Chamber promo set up where all 6 chicks come out, and then Nia Jax, who's not in the match, who's facing Rhea Ripley, comes out and just whoops all 6 of their asses. That was cool. That was a cool angle, and smart too.
No, it reinforces how dangerous Nia Jax has become, at least under the Triple H regime. All that being said, I can't.
It's also she's the actual challenger, so having her take out the 6 people in the Elimination Chamber doesn't hurt any of them going into that match.
No, it's totally separate from what's going on above them. So neither here nor there. I ain't worried about it.
So
she's always been dangerous, but now it's in kayfabe.
Fucking well done. Well done. God damn.
He's eating up.
Write that down somewhere.
Put that shit on a shirt. Man, that's wild.
So, for the WWE Unified Tag Belts, we have Judgment Day, which is going to be Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus the New Catch Republic, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Zach, who you got?
Man, I think I'm gonna go out on a limb here. This is really a stretch, but I'm gonna go with New Catch Republic.
I love it. I am not. I'm going with Judgment Day. I mean, I just think that Finn Balor has had such a big year as Judgment Day. He's kind of earned the right to walk into WrestleMania as a tag champ. I say that more about Finn Balor than I do about Damian Priest because he's got the briefcase. Jason, who do you got?
We said it last week. I'm going to stick to it until you show me otherwise. I'm going to take Judgment Day because I ultimately think that Truth and Miz take the titles off of them. I think that would be a ridiculously...
Did you say that last week?
I said it last week.
That's really smart.
I think that would be a good way to ultimately free up Damian Priest. I can see that as maybe a night one where you have Seth in the main event versus the Elimination Chamber winner, have Damian drop the titles early and then cash in later on that night. I like Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne together. I just think this is just kind of like wrong place, wrong time for them to become tag team champions. I would love to be wrong because I think ultimately they would be a good tag team champion team, but I just don't see it. I got Judgment Day.
I'd be cool either way.
Yeah.
So the women's Elimination Chamber match, we have Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Raquel Rodriguez. That's a pretty stacked, that's a good-looking Elimination Chamber lineup for the women. I like that Tiffany Stratton's in there. Rodriguez, Naomi, Belair, and Becky Lynch are all big time. And Liv Morgan is a former champion. So, from least to most, however, this is kind of a tough one. I think I'm going to Liv the least. I'm going Tiffany Stratton next. I am going... God damn, this is tougher than I thought it was going to be. I'll just go... Okay, so Liv, Tiffany Stratton, Raquel Rodriguez, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch. Who you got, Jason?
Interesting. probably different, but ultimately I think we're gonna end up at the same spot. Raquel Rodriguez, I'm going least likely. Just coming back. Just now, not here, not now. Let's go.
Place sounded like a wet fart when she came back.
It did. It was just not what I expected at all. Naomi at 5. I would love to bump her up more, but it's not what I expected early from Naomi. That's not a knock against her. Royal Rumble aside, I think match against...
I think with the WWE crowd, with Naomi, absence made the heart grow fonder.
I'm not saying...
And now she's back, and it's like, oh, yeah.
I'm not saying that.
She's okay.
I'm just saying I need to see Triple H show me that he's serious about her this time around. Naomi at 5. I got Liv at 4. Liv is probably the wild card of this bunch. I can see her, doing some damage, or I can see her getting bounced early. Either way. Tiffany Stratton at 3. I think Tiffany's going to have a strong performance because I think she's the star of the show down the line, a year, 2 years from now, whatever the case may be. 2 and 1, you can flip them. It would make a difference, but like I said last week, you're not going to have Becky confront Rhea Ripley in Vegas and not pull the trigger. Bianca at 2, Becky at 1.
Zach.
Naomi's relationship with WWE is like George Costanza relationship with like Susan, where he like breaks up with her and then he like talks her back into going back out with him after he breaks up with her because he thinks he made a mistake. But then once they're back together, he just wants, yeah, exactly, just wants to be broken up again. Naomi. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, Naomi's a fun performer, but she's just not that top level. I don't think.
If there was a mid-card women's title, Naomi would be perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because she can get the crowd going. She's a good character. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I'm going to go Tiffany Stratton just because she's brand spanking new. But I'm glad she's up there. She's getting work. She needs some, like, house shows, under her belt. Working with, talented women. She'll be a big star soon. But she's just a rookie. Then I'll go Raquel Rodriguez just because. Then Naomi, then Liv Morgan, then Bianca Belair, and then Becky Lynch, because it's Becky and Rhea. That's the match.
That is the match. So, now we have the men's Elimination Chamber, which is Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, and Logan Paul. Jason, your turn to go first.
Honestly, I think this is a little more harder than the women's, to be perfectly honest. But let's break it down. 6, least likely, is probably Bobby Lashley. As painful as it may be, they should have done this a long time ago, and I keep saying this. I just don't see Lashley getting much play here. Big name, but not much push behind it. 5 and 4, probably interchangeable, but I'll go, for the sake of argument, Logan Paul at 5. I think he's going to defend his title at WrestleMania, the U.S. title, so I can't see him winning it at this point. 4 is LA Knight. I think he's the opponent for Logan Paul. Somehow, some way, I think that's how you set this up. So you get that WrestleMania match. 3, I'm going KO. KO is just dependable. You can make this thing work with him and Seth. There's history with their WrestleMania match that, kind of gets forgotten about in the annals of WrestleMania history. They had the pandemic WrestleMania. That's the one I'm talking about. Go back and check that joker out, so they have history. 2, I'm going Randy Orton. Hard for me to not put him up at the top, but like I said, I think Drew McIntyre is just doing fucking work. Drew McIntyre, I'm taking at number 1.
Zach, you're up next.
I'll go with Bobby Lashley at the bottom. I'll agree with Jason. It hurts me to say it, but probably KO for number 5. I'll go Logan Paul, number 4. I don't really expect him, but I'll just still put him above those other guys. My top 3 are LA Knight, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre. I could see any 3 of them getting it. LA Knight being a dark horse, but really it's kind of between Orton and McIntyre, and I'm leaning McIntyre. You know what? I think I talked myself out of it because I'm not done. I'm swapping it out. I'm picking Randy Orton.
Yes! No, I love it. Love the moxie.
That probably fucked it up.
It's just 1 point. It ain't gonna hurt.
I actually think that KO is probably least likely. But
what?
I can't put him last.
I was gonna say, are you gonna write that down?
Because Bobby Lashley ain't gonna win.
Nope.
So I got Bobby Lashley last, KO second to last, just for my own sake. I have LA Knight 4th. LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. That shit ain't happening. It's like those two. I've never even thought about those two. Never even thought about those two in the same fucking. They don't exist in the same world to me.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
doesn't make any sense. So I got LA Knight 4. None of those 3 have any chance at all. Logan Paul would be a dark horse for me, just because. Why not run it back? I mean, that's a huge match, depending on what you're going to do with the Bloodline. Logan Paul versus Seth, it'd be weird for him to fight for the championship with the U.S. title. I get it, but that would be my wild card. Randy Orton 2nd, McIntyre 1st. I'm just going to go with Occam's razor here. And it looks like McIntyre. It smells like McIntyre. It's going to be McIntyre. Same thing with Becky Lynch. They're just they're not doing a bad job with it, and they're not making it too terribly obvious. And everybody's been entertaining during the build, so I am very much looking forward to this pay-per-view. Jason, how are you going to watch this? You're going to stay up and watch it?
So this is
4
Friday
a.m.
going into Saturday. So I mean, I could play it 2 ways. New Japan has their show on Saturday morning. I could watch that and lead into Royal or Elimination Chamber. My guess is, I know me well enough, I'm just probably going to go to sleep and wake up and watch it. Watch probably New Japan first because Peacock sucks with their replay system, and then watch Elimination Chamber
Now,
before
Zach,
work.
when was the last time you were up at 2 a.m.?
Mm-mm.
Been a while?
This is I'm gonna have to get back to you. It has been a while. How'd you know?
Because I'm never up at 2 a.m. Used to be all the time. Never.
I mean, not that long ago in my life, I was up all the time because I was still bartending. So
yeah, it's just a different.
Yeah, the good old days.
Fucking. So I think that my dad's supposed to come over, and we're putting in flooring Saturday morning. I usually wake up around 7 with the kid, so I might be able to catch the main event.
That sounds horrible.
When I wake up at 7.
Flooring? Ugh.
It starts at 2 a.m. for me, so there's.
Okay, all right, man. Look, we ain't got.
No, Zach's out of the question.
Look, we ain't gotta have you bragging.
I'm saying if it starts at 4 a.m. here, around 7 a.m. they'll be getting into the last match unless they've already had it.
Yeah, you can still catch some of that.
Yeah. So,
I'm not going to catch any of it live. I'll wake up and I'll probably just turn it on before I even get up to take a piss.
But I'm looking forward to really looking forward to that Grayson Waller segment too.
Yeah, that has Bloodline written all over it.
It's going to main event.
No, stop. Stop.
They should have Grayson Waller fight a kangaroo and lose.
Come on, man. Damn. He ain't Austin Theory, this motherfucker. I mean, shit.
Kangaroos really are the fucking wildest fucking animal, man. They are fucking. It's wild that they exist.
MJF got that motherfucker over. I mean, what the fuck?
If we went to a different planet and saw a kangaroo, we'd be like, look, you gotta look at this fucking alien, dude.
I mean, why is he kicking?
I'd be scared, dude. Australia scares the shit out of me.
It's crazy down there.
They got those giant huntsman spiders.
Yeah.
They got the kangaroos. There's kangaroos everywhere. They're everywhere. It's not just like, oh, you might see a kangaroo. They're fucking everywhere.
I mean, as long as they, bouncing up on me, I mean, shit, let the motherfuckers do what they do.
Oh, you know they're bouncing up on you. You know it.
I'm trying to let them
the way
live,
they
dog.
stand on their tails and kick.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
It's the weirdest fucking attack method in the entire universe.
So you can come over here and get you some. You want some?
Strong ass fucking tails, man. Like the strongest. Hey everybody, we got some birthdays this week. Shinsuke Nakamura is 44. Corey Graves is 40. Sean O'Hare. Do you remember Sean O'Hare? I can picture his face.
Yeah, it's like he came back like with the WCW invasion. I do remember that.
Yes. I can picture his face. 53, I think he's still alive. Maria Kanellis is 42. Ric Flair, the aforementioned, 75 years old.
The true GOAT, goddammit.
No doubt. Penta is 39. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is 71. You know what Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's real name is? Richard Blood.
He should have kept that motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
Who's the promoter who talked him out of that, you idiot?
Ricky Steamblood.
Say something. Shit.
He's 71 years old. And another guy with a great name, Norman Smiley. 59. I think he works for WWE, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, he's been a producer for a long, long time.
Hey everybody, we know there's tons of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you guys listening to our podcast. For the whole fam in there,
check.
For Tender Mahal,
check.
For
Get
Murray
well
the
soon.
Merman Murray,
check.
Get well soon. Hope everything's good with you.
Double check on that.
Lucha Chris for
check.
Brett Jagger
check.
For Vice.
Check.
For did I say Tender Mahal?
Yeah, but we'll do a check again. He's not feeling so good.
For Two Beers, Zach Pullman.
Double
for
check.
Jason Cornelius Bell.
Eat your bitches.
Beggy,
Check.
Black Lives Matter.
Check.
Support your local weed dealers.
Check.
Support your local restaurants.
Check.
Give your parents a call.
Double
and
check.
Never forget to boo the heels.
Boo!